Broadcasting on an iPod Shuffle from the abandoned Long John Silver's behind the abandoned Pizza Hut on Center Avenue in Bay City, Michigan. It's Everything, Anything, and Nothing Really, with your hosts, Eric Walensky and Matthew Maynard. Good evening, folks. My name's Eric.
My name is Matt.
And good evening to you, Matt.
And also with you.
What's going on, Matt?
Well, I ran across an interesting news story.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It was from a Wisconsin newspaper.
Oh, they have the best stories.
Well, I mean, things are really hopping there, I guess. They've got some real newsworthy stuff. And this is no exception as far as drama is concerned. The headline, Local Man Recalls Rare Poker Loss to His Mom.
So the news is a guy having a flashback.
About a single card game with his mom. It's not a card game with a famous person. It's not anything about... It's one single poker loss.
Nope, it's one of probably hundreds that he's decided to single out for the news.
So, yes. So it starts out, a Manitowoc man tells the story of a poker game that, quote, defies the odds, and saw his late mother hand him a very unexpected loss. In fact, Walt Zeal decided he needed to write a song about that memorable game of Texas Hold'em in Ladd, Illinois on July 4th, 1999. Wow, that's a lot more detail about a card game.
A 21-year-old card game.
In Ladd, Illinois. I just wish they would have given me the GPS coordinates so
Right.
The story would be complete. Walt's mom, Mary Elizabeth, who passed away in 2004, was her son's biggest fan when he was a high school basketball player at LaSalle, Peru Township.
More details.
She was also an extremely competitive person and loved to play cards. During the family reunion at Zeal's cousin Barb and Ron Zwingle's house 21 years ago, Walt's hand of aces full lost to his mother's 4 trays.
Okay, he had a full house with aces, and his mom had 4 of a kind. Okay.
But it was at Barb and Ron Swingle's house, Eric.
Oh, that's
You forgot
right.
that. That's an important detail, and I'm glad that the reporter did not let that go unreported. Because I would have been sitting here wondering, well, what was going on? What was the occasion? 4th of July?
It turns out this is just a local paper, and it's produced by Barb and Ron Zwingle.
And everybody knows about their family reunion because everyone who gets the paper is related. Anyway, he was later informed the odds of losing with aces full against anyone, much less his mother, is 3,200 to 1.
So they calculated the odds of anyone losing with aces full is 3,200 to 1. But what are the odds against his mother? Is that in the Guinness Book of World Records too?
Yeah, I don't know if we have enough data. I also like the fact that they said he was later informed about these odds of losing. Later informed. I want to know where. What town in Illinois? What day? What time? Who informed him? What family reunion was he at when he was informed?
And what kind of a poker player is he that he didn't go into the game with that kind of knowledge?
Yeah, you'd think he would know that. Everyone knows that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't play poker. Walt and Judy Zeal's son, Stephen, wrote the music for the final composition performed at Chicago Recording Company in 2007, a venture that cost him $3,000 for the studio and musicians.
Which is at least 100 times the amount of money he lost in the poker game. This game is still making him pay all these years later.
So he remarked, quote, "Everybody should have such an experience. It was so unique. People record music every day," Walt and Judy said. I don't know how unique that is. I guess they don't all think to record a song about a losing card game, but Walt explains it took 2 to 3 weeks to refine the lyrics for Texas Hold'em Rocks.
2 to 3 weeks? Sounds like this song took 10 to 15 minutes.
So, the song is on iTunes, and it is available for download. And we have the lyrics that took 2 to 3 weeks to come up with.
It's available for download. It's costs $3 a song. He's hoping to recoup the $3,000, one song at a time.
So the lyrics start out, "When you play Texas Hold'em and you take your seat, the thing you fear most is a bad beat. To win all the chips is the goal of the game. Then you claim your 15 minutes of fame. If
This took 2 to 3 weeks, folks.
What rhymes with game? Blame, dame, maim, fame. That's it. If you're dealt a pair, the odds are with you. Suited connectors are a good hand, too." What is that? Suited connectors?
That's like if you have like the 2 of clubs and 3 of clubs. Cards that are sequential in the same suit.
Well, he could have said that.
He only had 2 to 3 weeks to get this done.
If he would have had a lyric explaining that, it would have helped. Then he goes on, "When the cards were dealt, he had aces wired." What does that mean?
Nothing.
It's like, can only
Now he's
electricians play this or something? Or
Yeah, now he's just trying to come up with rhyming words.
well, then look what he rhymes it with. "When the cards were dealt, he had aces wired. He looked a second time to see if the cards were liars." He rhymed wired and liars.
One whole week was trying to figure that line out.
There's so many other things he could have rhymed with wired. To see if the cards were tired.
He had the dealer fired. He was happy with the hand he acquired.
There you go. On the flop came in ace and a pair of trays. What is this about rabbits now? On the flop came in ace and a pair of trays. He couldn't believe his eyes. He was in a daze. On the turn came of jack. Have no help for the table. What? You felt like a stallion, the king of the stable.
I don't know where he's going with this now.
On the turn came of jack. On the turn that is a weird phrasing.
Yeah, it's really weird.
On the turn came of jack. Have no help for the table. You felt like a stallion, the king of the stable. It doesn't work.
And I don't know why he says you felt like a stallion. He's singing about
his game, right.
Anyway.
He just forgot who it was about momentarily.
I guess. He started thinking about horses.
Oh, you're a pretty horse. He played his hand slow. He was setting a trap for his mom. The mom part isn't in there. But he played his hand slow. He was setting a trap. On the river, came at 7 if it seemed pat. What?
I don't get that line at all either. I mean, I understand what on the river means. That means that's the last card. But it seemed pat. Like
It
that.
seemed
Well, like you typically say you're standing pat
right.
because the cards are done and that's where you're going to stay. But for Texas Hold'em, that line doesn't make sense.
He went all in looking for dead money. One woman stayed and said, "I'll call Sonny." He showed her his aces and eyed up the pot. She laid down 4 trays and said, "I'm afraid not."
Oh, burn.
Boy. See, now this one you get some insight into what his mother was really like. She was
Mm-hmm.
competitive.
Oh, for sure.
He squirmed in his seat and looked at the others. They laughed out loud. He just lost his mother? He just lost his mother?
I think the lyrics are screwed up. I think he lost to his mother.
Because I was going to say, this is very tragic that she died just when she was about to win.
I don't think this Wisconsin newspaper has published these lyrics correctly.
They got all the they got all the details about everything except the lyrics, and they're like, "I just put some mush in there. I don't care."
They laughed out loud. He just lost his mother. What? No, he lost to his mother. You're changing this song drastically now.
Oh, and then it repeats the chorus again.
Oh, but it changes the last line.
When you play Texas Hold'em and you take your seat, the thing you fear most is a bad beat. With the loss of that hand, he was out of the game. Mom went on to claim her 15 minutes of fame.
Ooh.
Well, I guess she got it now because the Wisconsin paper wrote about it 21 years later.
After she died.
She never got to see it.
No.
Oh, man. So that was some very important news from a Wisconsin newspaper.
Yes. And how about some more important news from a Los Angeles newspaper?
Okay.
From 1910.
Ah, I love catching up on old news.
Oh boy, and have we got some doozies, Matt. Duck full of yeast explodes. Man loses eye. A prize-winning duck at the recent poultry show is no more, having exploded into several hundred bits, one of which struck Silas Perkins in the eyes, destroying his sight. Silas Perkins? And his prize-winning duck.
Oh, my.
The cause of the explosion was the eating of yeast, which was placed in a pan upon the back porch and tempted his
Duck ship.
It does
Like
say,
his-
okay, it does say
royal
duck
duck ship.
Okay, yes. And tempted his duck ship, which was taking a morning stroll. Upon returning from church, Mr. Perkins discovered his prized duck in a somewhat groggy condition. Telltale marks around the pan of yeast gave him his clue. He was about to pick up the bird when the latter quacked and exploded with a loud report. And Mr. Perkins ran into the house holding both hands over one eye. A surgeon was called who found that the eyeball had been penetrated by a fragment of flying duck and gave no hope of saving the optic.
That's terrible.
The official report. What's the officials, Mr. Surgeon? The eyeball's been penetrated by a fragment of flying duck. Okay, then.
I guess the lesson there is you want to be careful what you leave. Now, why did he have yeast just sitting around for the ducks to eat? You know, I mean,
I know. You'd think if you had something that would make you explode, you wouldn't just leave it laying around.
right,
Especially
right.
for a duck.
That's horrible.
Yeah, in 1910, it was also news.
That made national news. I found that actually in several newspapers, worded in different ways.
Really?
The best was, I don't remember which paper it was, but the best was one that said, duck quacks, explodes.
Duck quacks, explodes?
Yes. This newspaper, this is what, the Los Angeles Daily Herald of February 1st, 1910. And just this one page where the duck story is. has a lot of interesting stories.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. The headline says, "Jokes about death. Grim Reaper appears." Glassboro, New Jersey, January 31st. Wesley Sweet told a clerk for Eugene A. Doughty, a merchant here, that if he was alive, he'd come around to pay a bill of 38 cents and failed to show up. "I guess Sweet must be dead," said Walter Wilson, the clerk, to Mr. Doherty. Next morning, Mr. Doherty and his wife were at the Reading Depot when in walked Mr. Sweet. "Why, hello," said Mr. Doherty. "I thought you were dead." "Why, no, I'm not," replied Sweet. "But you are," jokingly replied Mr. Doherty. "You are a man of your word, and you said last night that if you were alive you were coming in to see me, so you must be dead." Just then a friend of Mr. Doherty's came in, and as he turned to greet him, Mr. Sweet reeled suddenly and fell dead.
And that's where it ends.
That's it.
So, this was news. So, Mr. Sweet died. And then somebody reporting on this was like, oh, yeah, Mr. Sweet died. Yeah, we should probably put that in the obits. And then this other guy speaks up and goes, I got a funny story about how he died.
"I was just saying you're dead," and he did.
Because earlier he had joked that he'd only not show up if he was dead. But then he wasn't dead, and now he's dead.
Isn't that a funny story?
Print that.
Stop the presses.
On that same page of newspaper, there's another story. Girls hold up and rob man. Mr. Stumpf reports loss of $60. Stumpf stated that shortly after 11 o'clock last night, he started for his home, and at the corner of Central and Gladys Avenues, he was approached by two young girls. One of the girls is said to have asked to be directed to the Pacific Electric train station, and the other girl, throwing her arms around his neck in an apparent joshing manner, began to make love to him. I can only guess that making love to somebody meant something different in 1910. Otherwise, this is a totally different story. Or maybe she did make love to him. He paid her the $60, but then had to backtrack this whole thing.
That could be too.
This whole news article is just for his wife. No, they robbed me. They robbed me. Well, I mean, she made love to me, but then they...
It was all joshing, though.
It was just joshing. When the girl had obtained a hold around Stump's neck, her companion went through his pockets and took 3 $20 gold pieces. Bidding him good night, the girl started north on Central Avenue, and it was several minutes before the dazed victim, I guess he was dazed, he had just made love. He was just lighting a cigarette. Took several minutes to realize he'd been robbed. A call was sent to police headquarters by Stumpf with a meager description of the girls. I don't know, man. I didn't really get a good look at her, but she made love to me in a joshing manner. One he stated was about 18 years old, 5 feet 4 inches tall, and weighing about 120 pounds. Well, that's not even meager. That's pretty specific. Stump stated that was the girl who held him while the other girl took the money. The companion was described to be about 14 years old, 5 feet 2, weighing 125 pounds. Good friends of Barb and Ron Sweigel. And the odds of two women joshingly making love to you and stealing $60 in gold coins from you is about 3,200 to 1. In case anybody's time traveling back to 1910, be on the lookout because as of that morning, the youthful female robbers had not been apprehended. So they're still out there somewhere making love and joshing around and taking gold coins.
Well, and the amazing thing is later, that man wrote a song about it. When you walk down the street with your gold coin collection, the thing you fear most is some joshing affection.
He was lucky to have walked away with his life, but he just paid for some hookers. Now he's got to explain to his wife.
Oh my. Here's one more from that same page. Woman ideal at 28, says society leader.
Says society leader. How less specific could you be?
Romance of Sweet 16 shattered in address of prominent Chicago club member.
The myth of a sweet 16-year-old has been destroyed.
Chicago, January 31st. Mrs. Henry Jaffray, society woman, told the West Side Coeducational Club today that the ideal age for women is 28.
The ideal age for women to do what?
It's just ideal. It's just
I guess
really
it's
good.
The...
Moreover, that the poetic vision of Sweet 16 was but romance, and that womanly beauty and grace were idealized at the age of 28.
Stop the presses!
There was general agreement among the hearers. However, that old maidhood under present-day ideas of life was not reached until the 30th year. An unmarried woman of 28 is an important factor in social and business life, said Mrs. Jaffray, and she probably is better looking at that age than at any other. At one period of our civilization, she might have been an old maid, but that time has passed. Oh, we're in the modern 1910s when you're an old maid when you're 30.
Who wants sweet 16-year-olds anymore? 28's the new 16.
She doesn't have to marry now unless she wants to. That's just that line. She doesn't have to marry. That just implies something really horrible, you know?
It totally does.
She can go into business, take up a profession, and do many other things, but she is not an old maid.
Wow.
Well, we are coming into modern times now.
It would be only another 9 years until women could vote.
Yeah.
And along that line of thought, society leader Henry Jaffray should call present-day music writers and let them know that instead of all these songs they've got about there about young girls and 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds, they really should have been singing about 28-year-olds.
Yes.
I've been noticing a lot of songs lately that really seem on the surface to be catchy, fun little tunes, but if you listen to the lyrics, they kind of take a darker edge when it comes to the ideal age of a woman. Male songwriters seem to want to gravitate to the youth, and again, the tunes might be catchy, but the lyrics can be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah?
Have you heard the song Young Girl by Gary Puckett anytime lately, Matt?
Eric, I don't know any songs that were recorded after 1945, so I don't know. Not sure.
Well, here's some hits if you ever care to put on some tunes. Yeah, the song Young Girl by Gary Puckett's always taken a weird meaning for me. Young girl, get out of my mind. My love for you is way out of line. Better run, girl. You're much too young, girl. Better run, girl? Better get away from me, 'cause I'm a monster. My love for you is way out of line. I can't control myself. With all the charms of a woman, you've kept the secret of your youth. You led me to believe you're old enough to give me love, and now it hurts to know the truth. Notice how all of this is on the girl? You kept the secret of your youth. You led me to believe you're young enough. Now it hurts to know the truth.
I didn't know any better.
Right. Later on in the song, beneath your perfume and your makeup, you're just a baby in disguise. And though you know it's wrong to be alone with me, that look is in your eyes. This is all on you. I'm not the creepy adult here. This is all your fault. The song even ends with, you better get out of here before I have the time to change my mind, because I'm afraid we'll go too far. I have a feeling he eventually does go too far.
Yeah, man, that's kind of a horrifying song.
I like the line too. You're just a baby in disguise. Let me just pull this mask off and see who you really are. World's worst Scooby-Doo mystery ever.
Oh, that song definitely needs to be fixed.
It should be.
I think I fixed it.
Oh, good.
Appropriate aged girl, stay in my mind. My love for you is just really fine. You're just the right age, with all the charms of a 44-year-old. You've kept the secret of what it was like to go to high school in the 90s. To give me love. And now I know it was a good choice to pick someone age appropriate.
That's much better.
Yes. It's going to be catchy. People will sing that.
I dig it. Appropriate age girl, stay in my mind. Yeah, there's lots of songs out there like that. Like when I Googled this, because a couple of them I just heard on the radio lately, and I jotted them down, and then I was like, man, I know there's others that I've heard, and I can't quite think of them. So I Googled young girl songs, and no kidding, I got at least 6 articles with titles like, Top 25 Songs About Jailbait.
Jeez.
Here's 10 songs about underage sex you might not have heard. I was like, what? See, I'm not the only one noticing this stuff. It's like the songs are out there. And rather than these articles being any sort of an admonishment towards like the attitudes towards women, it's all just like, yeah, you know, here they are. Put them on your pedophile playlist. Have a field day with these guys. So then I Googled, and now I've got to erase my search history, but I Googled songs about young boys, and which I don't recommend anybody doing. It does yield a lot of weird results. No, I Googled songs about young boys. I get these search results. 10 beautiful songs from a parent to a child.
Okay.
15 of the best songs for a mother to her son. 10 songs about growing up and parents to their children. That's what you get when you Google young boys songs. You Google young girl songs, and you get the top 50 hits that would put you in jail in most states. There's Into the Night by Benny Mardones. She's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they say. Separated by fools who don't know what love is yet. Yeah, the judge and the prosecutor who brought you into the courtroom. Are those the fools you're referring to?
I fixed that one too.
Did you?
She's just 36 years old. Leave her alone, they say. Separated by fools. Well, I'll have serious back pain now.
The serious back pain. You should have continued Benny Mardones' original thought. If I could fly, I'd pick you up. But I really can't with all these slip discs now. If I didn't have all these hernias, I'd take you into the night and show you a love like you've never seen. It's like having a dream where nobody has a heart. It's like having it all and watching your body just fall apart. Because my goodness, am I getting up there? I think we just found a new market, Matt, fixing all of these inappropriate songs. There's 17 by Winger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the sparks fly from the corner of my eye. When I turned, it was love at first sight. I said, please excuse me, I didn't catch your name. Oh, it'd be a shame not to see you again. And just when I thought she was coming to my door, she whispered sweet and brought me to the floor. She said, I'm only 17, but I'll show you love like you've never seen. She's only 17. Daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough for me.
Ugh.
He had a conversation with her father about this? Look, man, I'm going to date your daughter one way or another. Hey, man, she's too young. Hey, she's old enough for me, man.
I fixed that one, too.
Oh, good.
The chorus, anyway. I'm only 53, but I'll show you love like you thought would never be. She's only 53. Daddy says she's at a good age, but he's in a nursing home with dementia.
Oh, man. There's You're 16 by Ringo Starr.
Mm-hmm.
You come on like a dream, peaches and cream, lips like strawberry wine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. You're all ribbons and curls, ooh, what a girl. Eyes that sparkle and shine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. You're my baby, you're my pet. We fell in love on the night we met. You touched my hand, my heart went pop. Ooh, when we kissed, I could not stop. You're 16, you're beautiful, and you're mine. Now, we don't know the age of the singer. We don't know if this is maybe another 16-year-old or a 17-year-old. But the language, ribbons and curls, peaches and cream, strawberry wine, I'm kind of guessing somebody around the mid-50s.
I fixed that one, too.
Oh, good. I was hoping you did.
At least the first lines. You come on like the flu, like comforting warm stew. Lips like Tums. You're 52. You're beautiful, and all your teeth are still in your gums.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
So yeah, I think these songs are going to be even better.
Belle Biv DeVoe from the song Poison. They had a line about underage girls in there. Backstage, underage, adolescent. How you doing? Fine, she replied. I like to do the wild thing. I used to sing that song endlessly back in the 90s. But I mean, of course, back then I was underage, so
Right.
so it was sort of all right. But now, kind of a weird jam to put on at a family picnic. And it's not just modern songs either. Like, there's a song from the 40s, Count Basie, I Want a Little Girl. He would have been in his late 30s when he recorded this song.
Mm-hmm.
I want a little girl call my own. She must be someone who's all alone now. I want an orphan.
Give me Annie from the comic strip.
Yes!
Daddy Warbucks won't mind.
Your teeth, they're crooked.
We got Annie.
Say I want a little girl to fall in love with me, oh yeah. I want a little girl, but she may not look just like a picture in a storybook. If she can cook chicken, yeah, she'll suit me to a T. What? I want an ugly young girl who can make chicken. That's what I want. Please. And she don't have to wave her hair or even wear fancy clothes. I wouldn't even care. She don't wear nylon hose. Oh, no. I just want a little girl who's just ugly as sin, but can make a heck of a chicken. It's like extra creepy on that man, on those levels. So the only song I could find that was even close to a woman writing about having a young man is a old song called Peekaboo to You by B. Wayne. And this would have been in the late 30s, early 40s as well. Peekaboo to you, you dreameroo, whoever let you out alone. Peekaboo to you with all that woo-woo, walking in a danger zone.
That doesn't sound quite as sinister as some of the other ones.
No, it doesn't. And see, it's a lighthearted song about an older woman preying on a young boy.
I mean, it sounds like it could have been right there. That sounds like it could have been done by Curly of the Three Stooges. So,
yes. Don't you know the woods are full of dames trying to trap some boy? And you're the real McCoy, little Lord Fauntleroy. Take a look at how they hold a powwow. Take a listen to the sky. Take a look at me and you can see I'm jealous with the light green eye. All right, we're getting a little intense here. She goes on again about peekaboo, peekaboo, whoever let you out alone, walking in a danger zone. If they should attack, I'll hold them back. I'll cut them to proper size. Take a look at me and you can see I'm jealous with the light green eyes. So apparently now all these cougars are fighting over this one little boy walking through the woods. And man, she's getting mean about it. Anyway, just a stray observation about some of the music that's floating around out there right now.
yeah, well, at least we fixed some of them.
Yes. Hopefully we can get them on mainstream airplay and we can start our own label.
Appropriate Age Records.
Appropriate Age Records. I love it.
Well, I think that's a good place to stop for this week.
I just wish some of those men in those songs would have stopped.
Run away, Eric.
Peekaboo, peekaboo. It's getting creepy now.
Oh, she's got a blunderbuss, too.
See, the men just go for it. They blame it on the women. Hey, man, she's coming on to me. I didn't know how old she was. That woman, B. Wayne, is proud. She's like, oh, no, I see the little boy, and I will fight all the other women for that little boy.
So remember, folks, we are on Facebook. Be sure and like us and follow us on Facebook. Share our Facebook page with your friends. Also, we are on iTunes. We're on Podbean. We are now on YouTube. And so be sure to follow us on there as well.
And if you can't get enough of me on Everything, Anything, and Nothing Really, you can check me out on another podcast called This Podcast Ruined My Childhood. Me and my friend Phil Durasmo examine pop culture and the reboots and remakes that people claim have destroyed their childhood. So check it out.
That sounds like an interesting listen.
It's pretty good.
Wow. You've got 2 shows. I'm impressed.
My goal is to be on every podcast in the world.
Well, starting out with 2 is a good start. I've only got 1, so someday we'll start that Norman Fell themed podcast.
Peekaboo to you.
So as always, tell your friends about us.
And tell your enemies.
Don't tell our enemies.
No, especially those creepy women walking through the woods.
There's a kid around here somewhere. Give me my gun, Ma.
And he's mine! So, for Everything, Anything, and Nothing Really, I'm Eric,
I'm Matt.
and we'll see you next week.
Tell me why I had to go. Why don't you tell me why it just ain't so? Why don't you tell me why it hurts so bad? Why don't you tell me why you're not sad?
Appropriate aged girl, stay in my mind. My love for you is just really fine. You're just the right age, with all the charms of a 44-year-old. You've kept the secrets of what it was like to go to high school in the 90s, to give me love. And now I know it was a good choice to pick someone age appropriate.